Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the Team USA track and field roster, and now we're going to do some MMA updates. We have 3 things to talk about regarding the MMA updates. 1, Mayra Bueno Silva's injury. 2, Julianna Peña says she will likely challenge UFC bantamweight champion Raquel Pennington in October. And 3, Paige VanZant at the Power Slap 8. Okay, so let's start with Mayra Bueno Silva. Okay, so just as a trigger warning here, the picture I'm going to show you has blood in it, and I wanted to show one of the more gruesome looking pictures. This is not the most gruesome picture. There is a little bit of blood in here, so if you are not a fan of looking at blood, I recommend you either skip this part, watch on our podcast channel, or just turn your screen off. The podcast channel will be linked in the description for the YouTube channel, so just as a little trigger warning for blood, don't want to get this video ended up taking down. It is the MMA, there's always blood involved, but it is not the worst picture you see. If you go and search up her injury, it is pretty bad. It's a deep gash in her eyebrow. I'll get into the injury some more, obviously, that's what we're here to talk about, but this is not the worst picture, but as a trigger warning. Anyway, okay, so I'm just gonna remove that now. Okay, so during UFC 303, Mayra Bueno Silva left with one of the deepest cuts, but she says her fight still shouldn't have been stopped, like the champ and fighter she is. Bueno Silva lost by TKO to Macy Chiasson, who opened up a gash above Bueno Silva's right eye with a slicing elbow. Like, it literally was like, okay, that's my left side, this is my right. It's inverted on like a screen, so it doesn't look right, but like it was like right above her eyebrow, and it was pretty deep. It was bad. I don't know, when it comes to like big gashes like that, especially on the face, I get super like worried because I'm like, oh, that's your face, like that seems like sensitive area, like, oh my gosh. So I am a little bit weak when it comes to that. But after some deliberation, referee Chris Tonani, in consultation with the cage-side doctor, shut the fight down. The cut appeared to be at least an inch wide and right above her eyebrow. On Instagram, Bueno Silva posted, quote, "Last night I was in the mood for war. I was there to sweat, bleed, and everything that can happen in a war, but unfortunately the referee thought it was better to stop the fight. I don't agree with the result because whoever goes in there knows the dangers that can occur. I was 100% aware and lucid. I'll be back soon," unquote. The loss for Bueno Silva may be particularly painful considering in January she lost a vacant women's bantamweight title fight to Raquel Pennington. Back-to-back losses to the current champ, and now to the woman who is hoping to be next in line, might push Bueno Silva back in the pack for a while. Ooh, I hope I did not just ruin the microphone. I'm so sorry if I did. But I wanted to touch on this injury a bit more. Now, Bueno Silva said she didn't want the fight to stop, and I get that. It was like the heat of the moment. The injury wasn't meant to do much damage, I'm sure. But in my opinion, the fight should have been stopped. The ref made a good call. And I did mention I am a little bit weak when it comes to injuries, especially on the face. But in MMA, fighter safety is paramount, and when an injury occurs that poses a significant risk to the fighter's health, stopping the fight is the correct decision. A large cut that results in excessive bleeding can impair vision, lead to further injury, and cause long-term damage. Therefore, the referee and medical team's decision to halt the fight was justified to protect Bueno Silva from further harm. Like, think about if the fight continues, something as simple as blood getting in her eye could have just caused her to get more and more injuries during the fight, as she would not be able to see very clearly. You have to consider, is this the MMA culture we want as fans? Yes and no. While MMA is inherently a combat sport where injuries can occur and do occur, it is essential to promote a culture that prioritizes the safety and well-being of the fighters. The community should strive to balance the competitive nature of the sport with ethical considerations. Encouraging sportsmanship, implementing safety measures, and fostering a respectful environment are critical to maintaining the integrity and appeal of MMA. Like I said, I think it was the best idea for the ref to stop the fight because it kind of looked like she could have needed stitches. And plus, anything that comes to the head, especially around anything like with brain, Like, no. I get very worried about that because a brain injury literally will ruin your life. So I know I said like I'm very weak when it comes to all that stuff, but I am, and that's just how it is. Anyway, but I think the best way to prevent something like this from happening again would be to do more regular medical checks. I've been saying this for a while. I wish there was more, I don't know, like timeouts or something that people could take a look at and be like, are you okay? And then we can do the match. I had to brainstorm that a bit further because I don't have like a solid solution, but I think there should also be more protective gear on the face and neck. And once again, I don't have a solid solution, like a design or anything, but I just hate how little gear there is around the face area. Like, I know you have mouth guards and stuff, but like, the forehead just like, it gets me. I don't know. That's just the thing. Anyway, let's now move on to our second thing, which is more like fun, I guess. Julianna Peña says she will likely challenge UFC bantamweight champion Raquel Pennington in October. Peña said, I quote, "I think it's going to be in the fall for sure. That's all I know. I think maybe they were looking towards October. I don't know if it's been announced yet, and I don't want to be that person that leaks the fight. But I'm definitely hearing October. I think it's going to be in Salt Lake City if I'm not mistaken," unquote. After Amanda Nunes retired and vacated her belt, Pennington rallied to outlast Mayra Bueno Silva to claim the vacant bantamweight title at UFC 297. Peña credits Pennington for her toughness, an attribute she's proven to have as well. Peña said, quote, "I think that Raquel's biggest strength is her durability, just being strong and being able to fight anywhere, and that's kind of what my strength and skill set is as well. It doesn't matter who we're fighting, we're going to be always in the fight, and you can never count either one of us out. So I love that about Raquel, and I think that's her strong suit, and she's just extremely durable," unquote. Peña hasn't competed since losing her bantamweight title to Nunes at UFC 277 in July 2022, which was really long ago. The pair were scheduled for a trilogy bout at UFC 289, but Peña pulled out due to broken ribs. Nunes faced Irene Aldana instead and retired after defeating her. Peña was in attendance for Nunes' retirement and received plenty of flack for booing her. The Venezuelan vixen plans on beating Pennington, then luring Nunes out of retirement after that, basically. Peña said, quote, "I was booing and I had every right to boo because I know that she's not done. I know that she's going to come back. So when I win the title, I absolutely will be making that fight. I definitely think that a trilogy fight with me and Amanda far precedes any fight that I can make with any other woman in the division," unquote. I want to talk more about how this fight might unfold its potential large-scale impact with Pennington and Peña. There we go. So let's talk about the fight dynamics. Peña is known for her relentless aggression and pressure in the octagon. Her ability to push the pace can disrupt opponents and force them into uncomfortable situations. Peña's wrestling and submission skills are also notable. Her ground control and ability to secure submissions makes her a formidable opponent on the mat. On the other hand, Pennington is exceptionally tough and resilient, able to absorb significant damage while continuing to push forward. This durability makes her hard to finish. Pennington is well-rounded with solid striking and grappling skills. She can adapt her strategy based on her opponent's weaknesses, making her a versatile and unpredictable fighter. This bout is expected to be a grueling back-and-forth battle. Peña's aggressive style will likely clash with Pennington's durability and well-rounded skill set. The fight could go the distance with both fighters having their moments. If Peña can impose her wrestling and ground game, she might edge out a decision. However, Pennington's toughness and striking could make it a very competitive fight. So now talking about the impact. With Amanda Nunes' retirement, the division is wide open for new stars to emerge. This fight could set the tone for the bantamweight division moving forward, establishing a new dominant champion. Peña's intention to lure Nunes out of retirement adds an intriguing subplot, I'll say. If Peña wins and manages to bring Nunes back, it could generate massive interest and potentially one of the biggest trilogy fights in women's MMA history. Overall, both fighters' strengths highlight the evolution of women's MMA, showcasing high levels of durability, skill, and strategic thinking. High-profile fights like this bring more visibility to women's MMA, encouraging more fans to engage with and support the sport. Lastly, let's talk about Paige VanZant. Paige VanZant finally got back on the winning track Friday at PowerSlap 8 in the intriguing debut of the UFC BKFC and boxing veteran in the highly polarizing PowerSlap organization. VanZant landed the cleaner shots over 3 rounds to win an unanimous decision over Christine Wolmarans by scores of 30-25, 30-25, and 30-25. The round 2 slap from VanZant made her opponent take a knee and was a turning point of the match in her favor at the Blue. I don't even know how to pronounce that, guys. I'm so sorry. The location is hard for me to pronounce, but it's a hotel and casino, basically. That's where it was. So VanZant said, quote, "Of course I wanted to knock her out with the first slap, but I was really ready for it. That was really fun. I was surprised I wasn't really that nervous. This feels really incredible," unquote. VanZant said that she will be back in the future. Paige VanZant is one of the most recognizable names in women's MMA, known for her charismatic personality and marketability, as you can see. Her return could draw substantial attention to the sport, bringing in both hardcore fans and casual viewers. Also, VanZant is a valuable asset for any promotion due to her ability to attract sponsors and media attention. Her comeback would likely be accompanied by substantial promotion efforts, creating economic benefits for the promotion she fights for and for the sport as a whole. This could lead to better fight cards and higher viewership numbers, benefiting other fighters in the organization. VanZant said, quote, "Honestly, this is too much fun to walk away from. That was so awesome. I told you all I'm a gangster," unquote. So we're now going to move into our last segment of the day where we talk about the most stacked Team USA Olympic basketball roster. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break. So I will see you guys all very soon.